11th District?
Yes, the 11th Ward.
11th Ward. Are you a registered lobbyist for the company Axon?
Yes, I am.
Will you, and how does that square when this vote comes up in the Board of Aldermen later?
Oh, well, I would just abstain like I would if I had any other conflict, just like we have a lot of alder people that have to abstain from votes with their other jobs.
Yeah, certainly, and we all understand conflicts of interest. You disclose it and you move on. But body cameras are a pretty big issue. Why is it that people in your district will not have a representative vote on it in their district because you choose to be a lobbyist for the company?
Well, I mean, that's a good question, but again, we have lawyers that work for law firms who have to abstain. I mean, this could happen, with a lot of different professionals who want to run for office and help their communities.
Absolutely. There are certainly conflicts of interest because of past clients and past situations, and judges have worked on cases that years later show up in where they're a judge, and so they back out, they abstain. But in this instance, you were a Board of Aldermen, and you chose, while you were a Board of Aldermen, to become a lobbyist for Axion. So this wasn't a past conflict of interest. This is a conflict of interest you chose to take on.
To be honest, I didn't know. You have some leeway, and when my firm decided to work with them, I had no idea what was going on with the city. That was all a surprise to me. I found out when everyone else found out because of the nature. I was kept out of the loop, which I appreciate, and so, I mean, it did happen. The timing is a little funny, but I wasn't aware.
There's an article here I'm reading in St. Louis Post-Dispatch, September 21st. It says that Axion is going to be the company of choice for these body cameras. You signed up as a lobbyist on October 4th.
Right. There is a little leeway when you can register, but at the time, in our initial conversations, I was unaware.
So when did you start lobbying for Axion? Or actually
I
when?
started having conversations late September, but I agree that the timing does seem odd, but like I said, people have conflicts of interest all the time with their jobs. We have a lot of law firms where they have lobbyists and lawyers that decide to run for office, and so you just have to abstain and be honest, and people understand.
How much is Axion paying you?
That's confidential.
Oh, you just said people should be honest, so I thought you would tell us.
Well, I'm honest about who I'm representing.
But you won't tell us how much you're getting paid by this company?
No, and I don't lobby the city, so I've never lobbied the city of St. Louis. I don't lobby the city of St. Louis, so I don't really understand how that...
I understand. I understand you don't lobby the city of St. Louis on behalf of Axion, the company that has the contract. But you're an alderwoman. You shouldn't. There are many people out there who think elected officials shouldn't be lobbying anybody anywhere.
Well, there's not a conflict if I'm not lobbying the city. I mean, most of my duties as an alderman is trash pickups, working with neighborhood associations, dumpsters. I mean, that's really the heart of being an alderman, is improving your neighborhood and your area, and I just don't see how that conflicts with it.
So voting on body cameras is not the responsibility of the aldermanic board?
If there is a vote, I'll abstain and be on the up and up. And, I mean, we have aldermen that have to abstain for other issues, just like anywhere. And
we're going around and around in circles.
If you want to attract, professionals that bring something to the table as an elected official, there probably will be some times that they have to abstain. But I think
I agree. We agree with that. Absolutely. Certainly, there are times when in past cases, past situations, where you come across somebody and then futurely, going forward, you're like, I abstain because I have dealings with this other board. I understand that. That makes sense to me, and that's the right thing to do. But in this instance, You were having negotiations, I guess, with Axion. When did you decide that when did you officially become a lobbyist for this company?
At the end of September.
At the end of September. So this article on September 21st that Axon was the company of choice for the cameras, you became a lobbyist after that. So you chose to choose this conflict of interest. No, for this company, though. You chose to invoke this conflict of interest with this company. So it's a voluntary conflict of interest that you chose to enter into.
But it's not a conflict of interest. I don't lobby the city.
No, but you're an elected official. You're going to have to vote on this. But you purposely decided, just so I understand you, Sarah, just so everyone understands, you purposely decided as a Board of Alderwoman that you would rather become a lobbyist for Axon than actually vote on whether or not police officers and the city should pay for
there's not even a vote.
Body cameras.
There's not even a vote right now. I mean, this is just sort of a...
No, there is going to be a vote in the future. No, I understand that, but in the future, isn't there going to be a vote at some point?
I have no idea.
In the from what I understand, isn't this a one-year trial? And then after the one-year trial, they're going to go to a vote, and if everybody likes it and it's voted on and passed by your board, it will become the norm when the city pays for this?
I have no idea. It could be a different company. I have no idea.
Just so I understand this, if it does come to a vote, you're going to abstain?
Absolutely.
Okay. So therefore, back to my original question, you voluntarily chose this conflict of interest.
There is no conflict of interest because I don't lobby the city.
But you're not going to vote because of the conflict of interest.
Only if it involves this company.
Right. So you voluntarily chose this conflict of interest because you chose to get into a contract with this company after this news story came out.
I will abstain. If this comes and,
So you don't.
I came in with a job like a lot of older people. I was very upfront with my constituents about what my job is, and I think as long as I'm helping my constituents and doing the best I can for our neighborhoods down here, I think then I'm doing a good job.
Just so I understand you, Sarah Wood Martin, you don't think there is anything wrong with being a Board of Alderwoman and a paid lobbyist for the companies you are lobbying for?
I don't lobby in the city, and I think as a citizen, I have the right to public service, and I'm doing a good job for my constituents.
Do you have any lobbying duties down in Jefferson City?
Yes.
Do you lobby the state senate at all?
I have.
Your husband is a state senator, is that correct?
Correct.
Is he in the majority, or should I say, is he in the leadership of the Democratic Party down there in the state senate?
No, he's not.
He's not. Do you see a conflict of interest lobbying the body in which your husband is a part of?
The same goes if I don't lobby my husband, and he would abstain. He wouldn't vote on something.
Oh, so now he's not going to vote if you're a lobbyist for a company?
That would be correct. Just like a lot of anybody that works for any of these law firms down there, they abstain when their firm is lobbying on it. I don't know how many lawyers. At one time, we had one firm with 5 lawyers, and they all abstained.
If Axion gave you a campaign contribution, would you disclose that to the public?
I wouldn't take a campaign contribution from them, but yes, I would.
Oh, so you wouldn't take a campaign contribution from this company? Why not?
Well, because I just don't think that's a great practice, but I would absolutely. Of course, I'm going to report it. It's the law.
Okay, but you wouldn't accept the money. I find that interesting. So you'll lobby on their behalf, abstain from a vote, yet taking campaign contributions is unacceptable.
I just wouldn't do it.
Okay, fair enough. Sarah Wood Martin, I'll give you the last word. Anything else?
No, I think that we want people with different backgrounds and different careers and professionals to run for office. We need more people to run for office, and so I think that this might happen every now and then, but I think everyone has a right to run for office and do a good job.
Sarah Wood Martin, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.